Welcome to Hit the Deck. I am your American Rhino, Gary McComiskey, and today we have a quickie. That is to say, a fun little quick project, little repair work that the goalie might appreciate. Bazam! So this is my Tor blocker. It is Tor 6000 Evolution. You can see right there. So basically the problem with this blocker, and if you've listened to the podcast, you know about this, but the problem with this blocker is that it's a great blocker. It's nice and big. It's very useful in terms of being able to stop the puck. Unfortunately, it's not real durable. So you can see, if you look carefully, you can see here how I have repaired it in the past. You can see this black duct tape here. And in fact, I have had to repair 3 sides of this. So I've had to repair this way around. I've had to repair this way around and 3 sides, and now the 4th side has given way. So as you can see there, it's kind of flapping around. Hello, I am a broken blocker. So what we're going to do today is just a quick little sew to repair the blocker so it's not, flopping around on my hand here, because you can see, I'm going to put it on for you just to show you. So if I put it on, you can see it kind of, it's kind of floppy. So, obviously I don't want that because, one, it's going to, be loose on my hand when I'm trying to stop the puck. And if I go up and I try and stop the puck that's up here and it flops over that way, it's not going to work. Plus, the more I use it, if it's damaged, the more likely it is to rip and break the seams that I've already sewn up on the other side, and it's just no bueno. So, let's say we get started, yeah? Here we go. Okay, so what we're going to need for this particular project, which is, as you can see, this blocker repair. You can see the problems with it right here in close up. First, you're going to need some high strength thread. This is double strength black thread, which I use for all of my equipment repairs. You are going to need some Singer needles. Well, they don't have to be Singer, but Singer is what I've chosen. They're pretty cheap on Amazon, so that's what I use. And most importantly, you are going to need duct tape, black duct tape. Doesn't have to be black, but it goes with the equipment. Now, the reason for the black duct tape is because it not only does it kind of strengthen, it adds an extra layer of strength to join the seam, but it also gives something to bite into, for the needle to bite into. And as you can see, I have pre-threaded this needle, and so just to speed up things, in the interest of speeding up the repair process. So first things first, we tape the seam. Now you have to be careful when taping the seam to not tape over the actual equipment and to make sure that you go right along the seam, because since it is going to be taped, you're not going to be able to see where the 2 sides join. So you're kind of going to have to just do a good job of lining it up, eyeballing it and lining it up that way. And then we'll just rip it off here. And a little bit of guesswork, a little bit of estimation, and a lot of kissing it up to God, as they say. So away we go. Basically, what I'm going to do, I have the needle, and I am going to just go ahead and start sewing. Now, it started down here, so I make sure to pierce through the tape and bring it through to the other side, where I know it's going to be going through both sides of the fabric. Now I'm going to loop it around here because I want to make sure that I get it. I'm going to cross it over itself to kind of strengthen that, so when I pull it tight, it's going to make a good, strong kind of knot, and it's going to tie back on itself and make it extra strong. So I'm just going to keep doing that along the length of the rip. Every so often, you're going to want to kind of double back and go through part that you've already done. This is, again, to kind of knot it on itself and give it some extra strength so that if it breaks at one point, the whole thing doesn't come apart. You're also very likely going to go through the padding inside. In this case, it's kind of a foam material, and that's okay too, because that way you're not only joining the two sides to each other, you're also joining it to the interior padding, which means that you're giving it kind of 2 points to bite into, which is helpful. Only made it about halfway here, unfortunately, and you can see that I have somewhat underestimated the amount of thread that I need. That's okay. We're gonna just go back and we're going to recut, rethread, and we'll just tie it off here. Just give it a bunch of knots. I'm by no means a master seamster. I don't know. What's the male version of a seamstress? That doesn't seem like it was ever quite adequately defined to me. Tailor? But I'm not really tailoring anything. I'm just sewing something. So I'm going to say I'm not a master seamster, because that seems like the masculine version of seamstress. And so that's what I'm going with. And here we are. That's nice and kind of tight there. And so you get rid of the excess. I'm going to go back in and I will rethread my needle. All right, now I'm rethreaded. Unfortunately, the memory card on my other camera that I was using for the close-ups is full. So we are going to rely on this this far shot here, which is my cell phone. Thank you, iPhone. So we're going to start from the far side of the kind of knot that we just made, the thread that we just did, and going to go in and again cross over what we did to strengthen that stitch, and then just keep going. I will try to be as clear as I can with the perspective that you have here so that you can get a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. It's just sewing, so hopefully it's, and I am knotted up. It's just sewing. So if you know how to sew, or if you can learn how to sew, then you can figure out how to repair your blocker. Unfortunately, as I said, I got myself all knotted up here, so I'm going to try and even this out and fix the predicament that I've gotten myself in. There we go. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Pull it nice and taut there so you get maximum bind with the threads. And as we get down towards the end of the affected area, we can prepare to just tie this thing off. So you want to try, if you can, to leave yourself just a little bit of extra kind of slack on this thread. I had some over, as you can see, I add some overlap here just on the end of the tape, just to be on the safe side. So we should be pretty free and clear there. I am going to just cut this using a scissor, and I am going to set the needle aside. And as I mentioned previously, I'm not a master seamster, so we're just going to knot it a bunch of times. It usually works. So I was never in the Navy. I don't know fancy knots. I have been a technical director for a number of theater groups, both college and local. So I do know something about knots, but not enough. Not enough. See what I did there? I know I'm very clever. Not enough to be really that knowledgeable, and I don't know of any knots that would be really effective here. I'm not a rigger. I'm just the guy who can build a set and hang some lights, etc. So there we go. So we are done. Snippy snippy. And then we have it. There you have it. Let's trim up the slack from the front of this and the edge from the first knot. And I think, therefore, I am a goalie. All right. Here we are. Give it a nice panoramic view there of what we've got, and blammo. The single most important part of the whole repair, and do not forget this like I almost did, put an extra layer of duct tape, once you finish threading, put an extra layer of duct tape over what you just sewed. This will both give an added layer of strength to the seam that you just sewed up, and more importantly, it's going to protect the threads, because if this hits the concrete, it's just going to slide, and it's going to be a lot less likely to rip. If those threads hit the concrete, they're going to tear like that. So make sure to do this before you put away all your stuff, or it will all have been for nothing. And there you go, another successful repair. So still a little floppy, but not nearly so floppy as it was. And if I tighten it down, I'm sure it will be even less floppy. Yep, see, there we go. That's going where I want it. It's solid, baby, solid. All right, so until next time, thank you. This has been another edition of Hit the Deck How-To, I guess we're calling it. So check out the podcast every Friday. And until next time, thanks, everybody.